What's going on, y'all, and welcome back to another episode of the JuiceBox presented by LOCKCITY. It's Wighty here today. Happy Monday, I think it is today. But we're going to be looking forward to something that's going on Wednesday this week, which is going to be the Blast Open Fall 2025 London Closed Qualifier, CS2 tournament kicking off in, obviously, London, England. So without further ado, let's hop into what we're looking at for tournament structure and kind of overall what we're looking at for Blast London here. So this is one of the open events being run by Blast. This is the prequel, more or less, to the actual Blast Open, the final, that will take place with the top 6 teams pretty much directly after this closed qualifier. So the closed qualifier is going to have a total of 16 teams. The 16 teams that are going to be playing off for the playoffs here essentially are going to be Vitality, MOUZ, Team Spirit, FaZe Clan, Na'Vi, Furia, G2, GamerLegion, Virtus.pro, Liquid, Legacy, fnatic, ECSTATIC, M80, Imperial with a new logo that I like, and FlyQuest. 16 pretty decent teams. Some of the ones that are obviously absent, teams like Falcons, basically anyone that's going to Fisher Playground is not going to this tournament here, to the Blast Open. Fisher Playground actually has a $1.25 million prize pool, whereas the Blast Open is only, this one's $70,000 for the qualifier, and then the main event $330,000, so it adds up to $400,000 total. And then Fisher Playground's $1.25 million. So a lot of teams opted for that as opposed to the Blast event. But nonetheless, we have 16 teams here. The way that it's going to work, these 16 teams are going to be separated into 2 groups. We're going to have Group A and Group B. Each group is going to be a double elimination group. Again, each group obviously has 8 teams. All of those matches are going to be best of 3s, everything in the group stage. The top 3 teams from each group, so a total of 6 teams, are going to advance to the finals. The group stage winners are going to advance automatically to the semifinals. The group stage runner-up, so the second place in each group, is going to advance to the quarterfinals, and they will play the opposing group's 3 seed and vice versa to the quarterfinals. So kind of what that looks like in terms of a visual down here. So we have Group A and Group B. Again, double elimination. If you lose, you get sent down to the lower bracket. Winning outright qualifies you up here. The first place team, so whoever goes perfect, whoever goes 1, 2, 3, and 0, will get the first place and automatically qualify to the semis, and then same thing in Group B. Obviously, Group A, at first glance, it does look a little bit stronger than Group B. Group B, I would imagine Spirit probably takes it. Group A could be Vitality, but they've looked a little bit shaky recently, so we'll kind of hop into that. And then obviously once we get over to the fall final, what that's going to be looking like. So 6 teams, again, 3 qualify from each side, and it's going to look like this in terms of a playoff bracket. So the first place teams automatically get a bye to the semis. The second and third place teams will play the opposing group's respective seed, and then obviously fight for the semifinals. So let's get into what we're looking at for Wednesday. Overall, this is split up, so 16 teams. There's going to be 4 games on Wednesday, 4 games on Thursday. The Wednesday schedule looks as follows, so obviously 4 matchups for us to hop into. In my time zone, I think this starts at 6 a.m. or something like that, so obviously depending on your time zone, you're going to need to be able to get these bets in at differing times if it starts overnight for you. But nonetheless, let's kind of hop into it. So the 4 games that we're going to talk about, 6 a.m. Eastern time for myself, and they're all staggered, so only one at a time here throughout the morning, which is kind of nice, and then the same thing on Thursday. So we got Vitality and M80, we got GamerLegion and Virtus.pro, we got FaZe Clan and ECSTATIC, and we got Na'Vi and fnatic. So some pretty good games. Vitality and M80, this one ultimately shouldn't be super competitive. Obviously, we've seen Vitality fumble a little bit as of recently. If you look at public consensus, it's trolls, more specifically probably North American trolls that are in there voting M80. Vitality obviously wins this, world number 1. M80's 30th ranked in the world. One of the better teams as far as North America is concerned, obviously. But in the grand scheme of things in worldwide Counter-Strike, they're not doing anything noteworthy. So Vitality has lost back-to-back matches, first time that this has happened in 2025, and was the 5th match now that they've lost all calendar year, going all the way back to January 1st. M80, on the other hand, they're playing teams like Getting Info, they're playing teams like Blue Jays, Verstappen Peak, Marsborn, so just absolute nobodies for the most part. energy. So, I mean, they can beat up on North American competition. We obviously see the last time that these teams played was all the way last year at the Esports World Cup 2024. Vitality took care of business. Somewhat different rosters. Vitality should blow through this. I would say Vitality 2-0. It's not very good in terms of odds. Vitality on the money line 1.02 times your money. So Vitality minus 1.5 is like minus 1.2, or sorry, not minus, 1.2 times your money. So about minus 500 at American odds, or maybe like 1.25 times your money. So not great value there. But they do win this 2-0. They're not going to drop a map to M80. If they do, they're in complete shambles. They're going to need to reassess what they're doing right now as an org, because it might be time to reassess some roles there. I don't think they need to move anybody around, but maybe just move their game planning around a little bit. Nonetheless, they're going to win this. They win this 2-0. I think Vitality map 2 should be their map pick. I think probably Dust 2. Anything that they take, they're going to blow M80 out of the water, like a minus 3.5 round spread, minus 4.5 round spread for map 2 for Vitality's pick. I think that's super safe and something that you could use as a comfortable parlay piece. The next one up that we'll talk about is going to be GamerLegion and Virtus.pro, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. This one's going to be good, probably the best game of the day in terms of it being competitive. I'm going to vote Virtus.pro here. In terms of odds, relatively even, I would say. GamerLegion's 16th ranked team in the world. Obviously, they've been in relatively good form. Virtus.pro, we've seen them play a lot recently. 15th ranked team in the world. They have lost back-to-back to Spirit and Mouse. They looked pretty good against Mouse. They were able to beat FaZe here. They beat MIBR here. On the GamerLegion side of things, yeah, they beat Big. They got stomped out by Mongols. They lost to Falcons. They lost to 3D Max. They did beat Virtus.pro here in a close one, going back at IEM Cologne in Stage 1. That was Dust 2 and Ancient. Now that Overpass is in the map pool, I would assume almost 100% that's going to be Virtus.pro's pick. Unless GamerLegion bans it off the bat, I would imagine they probably ban Train, but if GamerLegion bans Overpass, then Virtus.pro takes Inferno. I think Virtus.pro wins either of those maps, so like a Virtus.pro map 1 money line I think is safe. I do think Virtus.pro wins the match straight up, so it looks like I already voted them. I have short-term memory loss apparently. But yeah, Virtus.pro wins this. Virtus.pro on the money line. I don't think it's 2-0. It could probably go 2-1. GamerLegion, I would pick Dust 2 if I were them. They would probably win that, or Ancient, because they've beaten Virtus.pro before on Ancient. So I do think this goes 2-1. It probably goes down to the decider. But Virtus.pro to win their map pick, regardless of if it's Overpass or Inferno. It will be one of the two, and they're going to win it regardless of whichever it is. Next one up is going to be FaZe Clan and ECSTATIC, 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Obviously, big news on the FaZe Clan side of things. They now have Jacob, so they no longer have a Liege. They've benched a Liege. I don't necessarily think this is the remedy to their issues, but that's a topic for a whole nother video. FaZe, I think, is pretty shaky coming into this in terms of their form. ECSTATIC, obviously, they have the man, the myth, the legend, Nut on Lay. They got a team full of some weird names here, but they can play some pretty good CS. They're Danish. They've lost to Bet Boom recently. They beat Hotu. I think this Paravision loss was pretty good. They beat GGL. They beat TNL. Lost to GGL there. Lost to Fnatic. Sangal wins a good win. Virtus.pro loss isn't great. These are good wins. This C10 win is good. On the FaZe Clan side of things, they lost to Aurora. They lost to Virtus.pro. They lost to Navi. They've been beating the teams that they should beat, and they should win this. It should be FaZe Clan on the money line. I don't think ECSTATIC wins. I think ECSTATIC maybe could win a map, but I think ECSTATIC keeps it close on their map pick. I think in terms of their pick, FaZe is going to ban Train, so unfortunately ECSTATIC's not going to get to play the map that they like playing the most. It's probably going to force them into Inferno here, but I do think ECSTATIC could keep it close on Inferno. ECSTATIC plus 6.5 rounds, plus 5.5 rounds, plus 4.5 rounds for them to win 8 rounds, 7 rounds, 9 rounds, something like that on their map pick, I think is entirely realistic. They play good CS, and again, FaZe has been kind of shaky. ECSTATIC will get the first pick here, so it's going to be right out the gate. It's going to be the first time they're playing with Jacob. I would not be surprised if ECSTATIC won 8, 9 rounds, potentially even won their map pick here, but FaZe should win this outright. Next one up and the last one of the day is going to be Navi and fnatic, and then we'll hop over to Thunderpick and talk about what we have for parlays. So Navi and fnatic here, 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time. This should be Navi. Navi looked shaky last time out when we saw them there at the Esports World Cup. They have a loss here to 3D Max. They have a loss to Astralis, loss to Spirit, obviously more than justifiable. On the fnatic side of things, they've lost to OG. They lost to Iberian Soul. They lost to Paravision. So not looking great. This should be a Na'Vi 2-0. But again, would not be surprised if fnatic, for whatever reason, ended up stealing a map here. If we want to talk about what specifically, obviously Na'Vi is going to ban Overpass. I think fnatic has a really good chance of picking Dust 2. I would not be surprised if fnatic could keep it close or potentially beat Na'Vi on Dust 2. But Na'Vi should win this outright. Na'Vi on their map pick, I think, is super safe. Na'Vi moneyline for their map pick. Na'Vi minus 2.5 rounds on their map pick. 3.5 rounds on their map pick. I think they take care of business. More likely than not, they're going to take Inferno here. But could potentially be Mirage. Regardless, though, I think Na'Vi takes care of business. I would take Mirage personally. And I think they take care of business there. I don't think fnatic stands a chance. So we'll hop over to Thunderpick. For those of you that watch our videos regularly, you know Thunderpick.io is the place to be for esports betting. We have our own partnership with Thunderpick, so if you head to tinyurl.com/lcthunder, they're going to give you a 100% deposit match on your first deposit, all the way up to $600. You can deposit on Thunderpick using crypto, credit card, Visa debit, Apple Pay, tons of different deposit methods. And Thunderpick has lines for all of your favorite esports. It's not just CS2. They have pretty much every esport on there. They have regular sports. They have a casino. It's a great place to be. But they're going to match your first deposit all the way up to $600. So any amount that you deposit up to $600, Thunderpick immediately matches it, and you can use that for all of your esports betting. Obviously, we've been super profitable on CS2. But you can always branch out, use whatever lines you want on there. Try your luck with your deposit bonus there. It's essentially some free money to play with. That's tinyurl.com/lcthunder for that 100% deposit bonus. All right, so let's get into what we have picked out here on Thunderpick for Wednesday morning. And then obviously we'll run some additional plays in the Discord. Discord's going to be at the bottom of the screen there, completely free, discord.gg/LOCKCITY. We run picks all day in our CS2 chat, our CS2 cheat sheet page. And then in the CS2 chat, we're going back and forth with all of the server members, talking about picks, tracking the picks. It's a really fun place to be. And then probably soon we'll start live streaming for some of those as well, so we can have people on YouTube tag along as well. I don't know if YouTube allows for gambling content in terms of live stream there, like if I'm allowed to go on and place live bets as we're going through. If not, we might need to figure out another medium, but nonetheless, let's talk about what we have here for some parlays. So I divided them up. I just went earlier games and later games, as I usually do. For the first one, I'm going to go map 2 for Vitality. So Vitality's map pick, regardless of what they take for their map pick, they should blow M80 out of the water. I would imagine they probably take Dust 2. Vitality has to win by at least 5 rounds. So we need 13-8 or better, 13-8, 13-7, 13-6, so on and so forth. That should be easy for Vitality on their map pick. The second leg of that is going to be Virtus.pro to win their map pick. So Virtus.pro, I'm assuming they're going to take Overpass. If, for whatever reason, Overpass gets banned and their hand gets forced into another map that GamerLegion sucks on, so be it. They're going to win it regardless. So Virtus.pro to win their map pick, and Vitality to win their map pick by at least 5 rounds is going to be 2 units. 2.39 times your money is going to pay 4.77 units. Second play that we're going to have is exactly a double up. This one's going to be ECSTATIC on their map pick. So right out of the gate, this is going to be FaZe's first time playing with Jacob. It should be relatively sketchy. I definitely trust ECSTATIC to win 8 rounds. I think they could probably win the map outright. ECSTATIC plus 5.5 round spread. So they have to win at least 8. It could be 13-8, 13-9, 13-10, 13-11, any overtime score, because you can only win by a max of 4 in overtime. So anything like that would cash the ECSTATIC leg. And then on the Na'Vi side of things, by the time that map 2 rolls around, we need Na'Vi on their map pick to win their map pick against fnatic by at least 2.5 rounds. fnatic could jump out of the gate pretty strong. We've seen fnatic play above their level a couple of times recently. I would not be surprised if map 1 was pretty close, but I do think by the time that map 2 rolls around, Na'Vi takes care of business here. Give me Na'Vi by at least 2.5 rounds. They need to win 13-10 or better. So 13-10, 13-9. Even if it goes to overtime, we could win by like a 16-13, 16-12, or double overtime, obviously under that same logic. So these are going to be the 2 picks that we are running with for Wednesday morning. Obviously, again, for additional picks, we'll have them in the Discord once maps are actually selected. We'll be able to dive in a little bit further, take some map first half winners, second half winners, start to mix and match some single plays there to make some more money as the day goes on. But this is definitely what I'm going to be starting with here. I think 2 very comfortable parlays. Looking forward to making a lot of money with y'all over the course of Blast Bounty. I think this goes all the way until, when's the last day? The 7th of September. So the first one, the qualifier, goes all the way until the 1st. We take a nice little 3-4 day break, and then we hop into the finals. Looks like it's 3 days for the finals over the course of the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We're wrapping up when NFL football starts on Sunday. So nice timing on that. Hope to bring y'all some money here. Leave a like and a comment if you like it. Subscribe if you like the content that you're getting, yada, yada, yada. We will see you in the next video. Take care. Peace.